Good day, class. Welcome to our third chapter. So, the topic is about the icons and decision making controls using Android Studio, which, of course, our program is Java. It's actually the part one of our discussion for the day, which is chapter 3. So, here in chapter 3, what you have learned, part of the objectives that you're going to create an Android project with a custom icon. So, you can learn here about the customized icon. And the second objective is that you could learn here how to change the text color in terms of different controls using hexadecimal colors or what we call the numbers, okay, in terms of the hex numbers, such as having numbers in 16 colors or different colors, variety of colors, which is we could come up later on. And also part of the objectives that we could align controls using the gravity properties that's included in Android Studio. And also part of the objectives that we could determine what are those layout based on its properties in terms of the margin layout. Also here you can learn about the radio button, radio group and radio buttons in terms of Android applications. Also have in terms of the coding guidelines of how the radio group control is all about. So actually there's associated codes between a different controls. So as we go through, you can learn those things. It's a part of the objectives. Okay? On the next slides, you can learn here about the decisions using if statement. Actually, this second slides to be tackled in chapter 2 or part 2 that will be next week, but I will give you an objectives part of the chapter is you could have a decision process in terms of controls using if else statement. So those are the condition if it's true, else otherwise false. Okay, as simple as that. So also here we will know that a logical operator associated with decision making or decision statement. And also you can learn here about the toast. What are the toast notification in terms of the message. Also you could check the property based on the method using isCheck or the isCheck then the method. Then the last objective is that you can learn here about the decisions using the nested if statements or what we call the ladderized if else statement, okay, or the multiple if. Some books, one good example in creating a application is using the medical calculator app. So as we know that the medical calculator app is actually basic computation if you want to know your weights or your pounds. It depends on the measurement or depends on the calibration of your part of the conversions. Okay, so here one good example of the application that we're going to do is the medical calc. This actually comprised with kilogram pounds or pounds to kilograms depending on the conversion factors. So these are the formulas that we need. We have here the kilograms equals to pounds multiplied by 2.2, which is constant. Then if you're going to check or convert the pounds to kilogram divided by 2.2. That's how it looks like, because the formulas we need in order to calculate a given process. Okay, so on the second slide or on the second bullet, you could learn here about the setup, okay, in terms of the medication to patient based on weight. So we need to check the hospital scales, register pounds, meds based on patient weight, dispense in kilograms. So that's how the app designed. Okay. Then on the fifth slide, so as you can see here in figure 4-1, opening screen of the medical calculator. So this actually the design or the layout wherein we could convert patient weight based on the weight of patient. Okay, so there's a radio button here, the convert pound to kilograms and convert kilogram to pounds, then convert into weight. So as the figure 4-2, the results on the screen with the medical calc is 225 if you're going to convert to pounds to kilogram. So the answer will be 102.3 kilograms. So going back with the formula, okay, convert pounds to kilograms. So pounds to kilogram equal to kilograms divided by 2.2. So 225 divided by 2.2. Okay? So that's how the conversion factors in medical calculator app are provided. Okay? So the question is that how about the codings? Okay? You can see here the layout. There's an input and there's an output that execute the particular process. So here we have the steps to follow. Of course, in order for us to complete the app, the first step will be creating, or going to create a customized launcher icon. So in terms of customized launcher, there's an icon given, or there's an icons built-in icons, or there's an icons either source file in Android Studio that you need to locate for, or you could add the icon using code display in the action bar. And the third step is you need to define what particular text field that the data entry will process, followed by the radio button, the display of toss message for data validations, for conversion, for arithmetic, and finally for displaying of result. Those are the steps. Okay? So now we need to follow the steps in order for us to come up with formatted results. So these are the steps. So if you're going to launch the launcher icon, so all you have to do is to view. So as you can see in figure 4-4, this is example of launcher icon for medical calculator app. But if you want to add another icon, that will be fine as long as you set the resource files. Okay, so here there's a icons. That icon's a brand identity. Okay, so you can see the properties, the dimensions, 72 by 70 pixel height, and the vector graphics. So depending on the icons that you will select. Okay, and then next, there's a icon sizes based on resolutions, based on DPI, or what we call dot per inch, and the size based on px, or the pixels. So we have low density screen, that's 120, the size 30 by 36. So depend on the launcher icon that you need to set up. Okay, so these are the examples. So here, when you publish an app to the Android market, take note, you must provide by 512 by 512 pixels, or the higher resolution. So you could use other pixels as long as there's a high resolution in terms of your graphics. Normally, um, much better if your graphic is high, so that if you're going to publish it, it will get cluttered. Okay, so meaning there's a true resolutions. That's how the standard. Okay, then here's the continuation of you customizing a launcher icon. So you could, as you can see here, so the asset type is launcher icons. So if you have your foreground or foreground image, just select image. Or if you have your image already, so by the way, the image will be the JPEG, PNG. Okay, so I strongly advise JPEG or PNG rather than bitmap, because it's low resolutions, unlike the JPEG or PNG or GIF. You have animated one, that be okay, but you could see the different process based on the resolution again. Okay, so here you can see here the foreground cell scaling, the crop, or the shape, the circle or the square, depend on how you set up. Okay, so this one is the custom launcher. So all you have to do is to select that image and then next. So that's how it works. And then after you select that, take note, the target module will be the apps, and the rest or the resources directory is the source that the main resources are included, such as the images, or if there's an audio, video, that's actually under the output directories, under resource directory, or what we call RES directory. Okay, take note for that because the directory is associated with the images, the videos, okay, the files that contains with resources. So that's how the rest directory are associated. Clear? Okay. Then, of course, if you're going to select, then click finish. Then here, you could see the launcher icon. So as you can see here, if you're going to select all options, display all themes, so there's a lot of themes. All you have to do is to select. Okay, so select the theme with the dialog box. And example, we have the holo lights or hologram lights, holo lights, and so on. So just simply select. So actually, the creativity, the user's creativity is there. Okay, so all you have to do is to set that. Then just simply click OK button. Then after you select, so take note for this. After you select, there is the XML files. So take note, the XML or extensible markup language, the styles that you need to configure. Or if you want, you could edit that again through codings. But if you don't want to edit through codings, you could edit that through the properties of the widgets. Okay, so there's actually the options. Okay, as long as you know where it's located. Take note, it is located through the resources. Okay, so as you can see here, the theme is located, the style name under resources. But don't mind if you are sophisticated in design, all you have to do is to drag, then you could see automatically it will build the theme based on your selected image. But if you are very conscious with your codes, then you could see that under source with style.xml. So everything that associated with XML format that build here in terms of the activity. Okay, clear? So here is the emulator. So you could see there's an action bar icon, the medical calculator, that's the icon. Okay, so there's a theme. Then moving forward, we have the main activity in terms of the files of main activity.java. So there's a package. So take note, the package is actually created once you create an applications, right? So here in Java, all you have to do is to modify or to add the particular content under the main activity. Okay, so this is the main activity. And as you can see, there's a small icon logos here that appears. So that's it. So you can see that small icon logo. So that means it's already there. It's inside with your program. Okay. So all you have to do is to add those content based on the layout. Okay. So you're going to set first. Take note. You're going to set prior to get. You know, the in OOP or object-oriented programming in Java, there's a two types of getting the set and get or setter getter. So just to recap your Java programming skills, there's a setter and getter. In able for you to get the certain method, all you have to do is to set first. Therefore, setter, then after setter, getter. So here we have set, meaning you need to set the content view based on the layout or the resource that layout, that activity main, the name of activity, followed by example, you set already the content. Then now you need to get the particular method based on the action bar. Okay, so it will display the home, it will display the logo, it will display the user logo. So set the boolean if true or false, simple as that, in order for you to load the particular logo. Okay, those lines are actually run in terms of the application once you run the Java apps or the Android Studio apps. So in order for you to come up with that, make sure that you need to set again, okay, to instantiate the given object. So just refresh your programming skills in Java. That's how it process. Okay, and then after you set and get, now we need to create the string table. So the string table is actually located on the resource files, which is located with the source, then the values. The values is the strings.xml. So any strings you add to the strings, it will give you, okay, an access within the applications. So what are those string name? So again, we have hint. Just to recap, when you say hint, those are the highlighted gray color, which is actually the your mask, okay, enable for you to come up with the weight of the patient, okay. So we have a ratio pounds to kilo. LB means pounds, right? Then we have radio button for kilo to pounds, and button convert from convert weight. So take note for the string, the name or your ID enable for come up with that particular value. This actually your value, or what we call the description of your string name. Okay, so these are actually included in table 4-2, which is the string. Okay, then after that, we have here the add key button. So as you can see, we open the medical calculator app, followed by the add key. As you can see here, we have the strings.xml. Okay, the add key button if you're going to create. So just click add. We have translations editor. We have the strings entered. So these are the settings that we set up, okay, based on the key. Okay, so this how it look like. Okay, then now we proceed with the radio button and radio group controls. So what are the difference between the two? Of course, when you say radio buttons, okay, these actually selections, or if the user selects, it select only once. Example, okay, you're going to select your gender, or example, male or female. So technically, you cannot select both male and female. Okay, not unless you're going to create a checkbox. So technically, if you're going to, to check the checkbox, that will be okay. Check it all, or without check or uncheck. Unlike radio button, you selected, or you need to select once. Okay, and take note, it can be arranged horizontally or vertically, depending on the size, and also it has a label to control the property. So example, the radio button is, well, of course, the name is the gender. So we have male and female. So you could control that. Okay, you could uncheck that. Okay. So good to offer a default selection check, meaning true, otherwise false. Okay. So that's how the radio buttons controls. Okay, clear? Okay. So we have changing the text color of Android controls. So this how I actually use beforehand prior to create a standard colors. So we have RGB, okay, the basic colors to represent red, green, blue, which consists of hexa, ranging from 00 to FFF. 00 means nothing or none. FFF means full of that particular color. So we have hashtag FFF 40 is all red. So as you can see here, we have here the F red, 0 full red. So 00 followed by the green, then 00 means nothing or none, then full green. We have blue, then if you're going to combine red and green is equal to yellow. So red, FF, then FF again, then 00. So don't worry, you don't need to memorize that. Okay. This is how the hexadecimal controls, because in Adobe Photoshop, in any editing or image processing controls, there's a hexa. Okay, so all you have to do is select what particular colors that you need to incorporate. Okay, just like with this one. Okay, so if you're going to select a color, so it will give you a hexa value if you select the particular color. If you select the RGB or RGB color code, then the combination will be give the hexadecimal. So through that, you could copy, okay, the particular codes, or it automatically build once you select, okay, if the selected color is taken. Clear? Okay. Then changing in margins, yes. So you can change the margins and the layout. Okay. Layout margins allows for more flexibility in controlling your layout. So as you can see here, there's a gravity tool from left, right, center, top, button. So normally, on layout, you could control that. Okay. But if you are sophisticated with the design, all you have to do is to check the length, width, height, everything, as long as it's perfectly fit. Okay, so still depends on the flexibility control on your control mechanisms. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, next, um adding in radio button group, we used to generate based on the name of the prefix rad. Okay, so here the layout margin is top, property display within 15 dp entered. So meaning based on figure 4-17, there's added font with the text size and text color change. Actually, to make story short, all you have to do, make it control, then drag that control, then you could see the property layouts based on the setup. Okay, so you can drop, but make sure that you know the width and the height. Okay, because you have an emulator, you can see the real time process, because there's an emulator here. Okay, and then we have here the number text field that controlled with the hint. Again, this is the hint. The weight of patient, the user will type based on the text field that you already inserted. Okay, so the set is 15 dp based on the margin. Then we have here the size for the second radio button, convert kilogram to pound. Okay, so as simple as that, just simply drag and set the left and right button. But actually, you don't need to memorize the different sizes, but as long as you know how to manipulate the controls, that will be fine. Okay, and again, as I told you a while ago, there's an emulator, there's a layout. You could see if how it look like. Okay, so that's as simple as that. And then here is the complete user interface. So there's a button here, which is the name of the prefix is btn, and the name of that particular button control is button convert. And we have here the text result plane based on the text view control. So it's one. Okay. So if you could see that, it's how it looked like. Of course, you already build. We come up with the steps. We design. Actually, the design is simple as you drag and you drop a particular design. But of course, here in Android, you need to know what particular setup to consider, especially in modifying or editing a particular codes. Okay, so the main highlights of this, of course, in slide 24 is the codings. Okay, so this is a coding for radio button. So again, just to recap, we have final, okay, the constant value for the reserve word. We have final, the radio button, the name of the radio button, followed by the find view by ID, which is actually this the ID name of that method. Okay, then we have kilo to pounds. Again, this the method for find view ID of rad, okay, radio button, kilo to pounds. So actually, if you see the first line, if you declare a particular serve word in final pounds to kilo, same as true with the other one. So the difference, the variable, and also the conversion factor. Okay, so this actually how you could declared based on the variables in Java. So as you can see in figure 4-22, which is variables declarations. Okay, so in Java, so we have public class main activity, so extend and so on. So all you have to do is simply insert under the after the public class the data type. Of course, the data type that we're going to use is double. Why is it double? Simply because there's a decimal places attached on the conversion. Okay, so we have a constant value for the double, which is final, as I told you, which is 2.2, the constant value. Then we have a double with weight entered and a double with converted weight. So actually, there's a shortcut here. If the given data type is double, for example, with entered, you can actually have it comma, then converted weight. That will be also fine with the codings since the same data type. Okay, but take note, if the data type is int or different data type, you cannot use the comma because they're different data type. But if same data type, then you could use double weight entered, comma, converted weight, then semicolon. That will be okay. Okay? So normally if there's pure double, then there's a lot of variables. Then straight double, then all of those variables declared. That will be okay in programming. That's a shortcut. But since there's only one data type here, the double. So aside for the constant value, of course, 2.2 is alone one declaration because a constant. As example, double pi 0.14 is a constant. Okay, so you need to add another double if they're different functions or different constant value. Okay, this is how the public class in declaration of data type. So take note, data type first. Okay, then after that, there's a override methods. So this is how I actually inserted the icon. So back then with the previous slides, it's automatically generated based on the layout that we create a while ago. Clear? Next. So as you can see here, after you declare the class, the edit text instantiated, so the final, okay? So here we have edit text find view by ID, text that instantiated, followed by the radio button with label with the pounds to kilo and kilo to pounds. This actually the instantiated part. So meaning there's a method that need to call based on the particular declarations, which is the reserved word for final. Okay, so this is how it looks like. We need to add Spark. Okay, and then after which, again, we have the results. Actually, as you can see, step by step, okay, 24, 25, then you're going to insert the other result. So a while ago, there's no result here, right? You can see here. Then in figure 4-24, I added the result. Okay, so this is how instantiated based on the assigned variable. So the text ID for text result. So all you have to do actually is to add a particular value that associated or instantiated based on the assigned variable. Okay, because if you don't have an instantiated part, you can't call the functions. Okay, that's how the coding for the button control look likes. Okay, and then after that, so these actually the buttons that could set based on click listener. So last time I discussed the on create button, on click listener, di ba? Right? The click listener on a particular resources. So here we have on click listener. So just simply click on click, then automatically it will click the button. Because if you don't have an on click listener, take note, there's no events. This is actually what we call the events or the methods for that events. You instantiated the button, yes, but if there's no event, there's no functionality. So this is a very important part also in terms of on-click listener, because they're the events to process or to execute based on the instantiated button. Okay, clear? Okay, good. Then that's it. So that's how the codes look like. So by next meeting, we will continue that discussion. But for now, we end up here because you have your, as I told you, you have your quiz number 1 for chapter 1 and 2. For that, I will stop my share and see you next meeting for the next discussion. Thank you.